Hey guys, we're going live. It's February 24th, 2018. I'm going live like I do every day. I try to go live between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a good time. I enjoy it. It's a connection time, it's a sharing time, and it's fun for me. If you're not subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button. You are then magically alerted whenever I go live, and you're also notified about my videos, and we go from there. Outside of that, I'm very thankful today, but also a little frustrated. My service engine light is back on the Jeep Renegade. I don't know if my radiator fan went bad, or what. But it was idling the other day. It was making some noise. And then today I smelled like some burning smell. And then the service engine light came on. It could be a thermostat. It could be a bad radiator fan. So we'll see. Tomorrow's Sunday. So I'll have to make an appointment on Monday to see how that goes. But that being said, that's my day. I like to share my day, good, bad, and indifferent. But I'm thankful. And let's check in on some live comments. Starpack is always number one. Great viewer from Illinois. Love and respect to Starpack, brother. Always good to see you. Thank you. Oh, new viewer. I'm gonna call you Mama. Mama. I don't know the first name. Henna Mama. Mama's in the building with the hand wave emoji. Mama. Love and respect to you, Mama. Starpack. Looks cold over there. It's not that cold. It's about 46 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason I have the hoodie on is because I don't have my car running, because I don't want to run it if I have engine problems. I don't want to run the heat. But it's not that cold. It's pretty good. I'm just relaxing. I work today. I'm just in my lounge clothes, my sweats, my hoodie. And I'm just comfortable. So I'm just kind of like putzing around. Pat says the lights are on and Sam's home. Yes, Sam is home in his Jeep Renegade with Diet Stewart root beer. Diet Stewart root beer in my cup of ice from McDonald's. Pat, good to see you. I hope you had a good day, Pat. Pat, drink some water. I'll drink some of the rest of this root beer, and then I got water on deck in case this root beer finishes up. Oh, Antonio. Garnett in the building. What's up, brother, from Detroit? Love and respect to the Motor City. Good to see you, man. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, man. What's the weather like in Detroit, Antonio? I'm going to call you Ant because I don't want to mispronounce that. Ant. I had a good friend growing up named Anthony. We would call him Ant. We had some good times. S. Baker, greetings from Crystal River, Florida. Florida, I love Florida. Just subbed yesterday. Sheila, oh, you know I love the Sunshine State. I love every state, but I love the Sunshine State. I love Florida. Damn it, I was thinking about today. I know it's coming to a head because just like when all my relationships end, you feel an emptiness when you're not where you should be or you're not where you want to be and you're not happy. And I got to get my ass down to Florida long term, man. And I got to do there. Love and respect to Florida. And Sheila, thank you for checking in. Starpack, you sound kind of sick. Feeling good? I feel great, but my mood is a little bit dampened. I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to give you guys fake energy. Why is my mood upset? That service engine light came on, man. Who wants to deal with maintenance? Not me. It's just a pain in the ass, you know, and then you got to bring that shit to the dealership, and you got to wait, and I might have to get a rental car. So it's just a whole process of maintenance, but you can't avoid maintenance. You know, even if you live as light as I do, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, living light. Even if you live a minimalistic life is just full of a little bit of shit. It's never perfect. That being said, I'm totally blessed, but I want to touch on that a little bit tonight. But that's why my energy level's not through the roof. I'm a little bit pissed about that. I want to be honest with you. Homeless Lives Matter. He was on check-in the other day. What's up, brother? Do you use McDonald's app to pay for McDonald's purchases? No, I don't. I just use my Samsung Pay because all I get from McDonald's is one Diet Coke every day if there's no Wawa around. And the only reason I get that is because I like the ice. But I don't get any food from McDonald's. Good to see you, brother. Hope you had a good day, Homeless Lives Matter. Ant says, pronounced Antoine. Okay, like Antoine Jameson? Antoine, it's about 37 degrees in Detroit. And I'm on month 2 of my car living journey. What car are you living at, Antoine? Sailing John from Jersey. Hey, currently South Jersey. Sailing John, palm tree emoji. We got to get the hell out of Jersey, brother. That palm tree emoji's calling me. Antoine, I tune in every night at work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that with sincerity. It means a lot to me. I don't take that for granted. And so I appreciate that. Thank you. Homeless Lives Matter. I always check the deals and offers on the McDonald's apps before I do. I'm not mad at that. Definitely if you can get some deals and stuff. You just got to be careful with McDonald's. I mean, I know it's not easy with food, but, you don't want to eat too unhealthy because, your health is your wealth. But I understand, look, I eat a lot of skinny popcorn, and I know that shit ain't healthy, but it's relatively healthy. But I understand, brother. Antoine, Ford Fusion 2010. I think you can live in anything. How do you like living ever so far? How's your journey been? That's what I want to talk about tonight. Like, living light. Every live feed, I try to pick a structured topic, and then I go into the free flow of the live comments. I read them out loud like I just did, and we have dialogue. So what I'm reflecting on today is living light. Minimalism. Not putting too much of a burden on your soul. Now, certainly that applies financially. Certainly that applies emotionally. Certainly that applies physically. Living light. If that service engine light that came on my Jeep Renegade tonight, if that would have came on, I would have my house dealing with shit there, dealing with stuff at my job. I'd fucking blow a gasket, literally. And that's what maybe happened with my Jeep. I don't know, maybe that blew a gasket. Damn it. But living light, and if I would have been dealing with somebody texting me, talking about, oh, you coming to pick me up? And then I got to deal with the light, the service light, the service girl, the house and everything else. I can't handle that. It's not for me. It doesn't inspire me. I like living light, financially, emotionally. Life is full of mental burdens. I mean, don't let anybody fool you. And we're blessed. I mean, if you're watching this and you're in the comfort of whether your car, your house, or your job, I mean, we're blessed. I recognize that. I don't want to start to give a sob story here. But what I want to say is that you're never going to fully avoid life and the things that happen in life. Service engine light, relationship problems, job problems, health problems, God forbid. So I can't give you a magical answer, but what I can say is living life, stripping away the unnecessary and the things that your mind can't handle. All right, I can handle a lot of different things that other people can't in my own way. With regards to business and things like that. But with regards to some things, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to handle some things. And what I've learned in life is that know yourself and don't try to do those things that aren't good for you. Don't live heavy just to live heavy. Don't take on too much. Don't take on too much. Ford Fusion. Deborah, always been scared about car going plunk. If I actually lived in it, I can deal myself, but I have pets that scares me. Well, definitely, like I always say, I mean, living out of your car is a little bit more risky. Regardless, I mean, as far as you're taking a little bit more risk with yourself. I don't think like Freddy Krueger's going to come and get anybody, but I think you're on the road more. You're doing a lot of moving. So there's a level of higher risk. I'm not going to lie to you. A house, apartment, there's a level of safety and security. There's a trade-off there. Anyone who doesn't tell you that is not being honest. And then if you add pets if you add pets in the mix, it's very hard to do because you have to keep heating and cooling. You can't go to work and leave your pet in a car. That's not responsible. That's not. I mean, that's illegal. It's just it's not responsible. Period. So I would just say it's not undoable. I mean, if you were retired, if you had your own income, or if you had your own business. I know people who have their own business. Then they just take their pet with them everywhere if they have a certain type of business. So there's ways to get around things, and I can't speak to everyone's situation. But again, most people should not live out of their car, period. Some people should. Some people will do it for a season. Some people will do it for years and maybe forever. There's no one answer for everyone. So I'm just sharing my life. Antoine sharing his. Different people that have come along the journey. We had a guy, American writer, that used to check in from Texas. He pops in from now and then, and he lived in his car for 8 months, and then he went back to an apartment. Um, there's pros and cons. I can't speak to everyone. I can share my journey, document it, good and bad, as best I can. And like I say, I'm sharing a little bit of a challenge tonight. Got the service light engine on. Thank God my car still drives. I have no issue. If it was a major issue, then obviously I'd have to get it towed. I have insurance for roadside assistance. I have money to spend a night at a hotel, or a couple of weeks at a hotel if I needed to. So, you'll work around it, but every night is not me I want it to be every night me in Boca Raton traveling, on the beach. But more nights are like that than if I had a house. If I had a house, I'm anchored down. I'm My load is heavy. Uh, when I'm live light, I have more flexibility. I have more freedom. But I still have issues. Uh, but I'm able to deal with them better. I mean, like I say, service engine light on tonight, but I'm able to deal with it better because my mind is light. I don't have as many burdens on my mind as I did when I had a house, when I had more responsibilities. Even when I had a pet for 15 years. So the living light, the minimalistic mentality, or the minimalistic lifestyle is better said. It's a lifestyle that is for someone, I think, who has an active mind, who thinks a lot, who is engaged, who is introspective. Um, and, I think, again, living light, I think, helps with anxiety. I think the less you have to worry about, the lighter your spirit, the less anxiety. But again, it doesn't have to be living out of a car. That's one option. It could just be downsizing. It could be getting rid of a lot of things. Living light is a general statement. It's a general philosophy that the more we have, the harder we make it on ourselves. The less we have, the lighter our spirit, and the more we're able to be ourselves. Um, that philosophy, that mindset, is something that I do not regret one bit. I mean, I don't regret living out of my car, but I will. The most powerful part of that is that living light way of being, and not overcomplicating my life, keeping things very simple. And that has helped me, and that continues to help me, give me a better quality life. Can you avoid the problems of life? No. Can you make your life better? Yes. It's a little bit relative. Go back to some comments, and I'm sorry, I know energy isn't totally boost up tonight, but I'm a little pissed. Because of that service engine light. Start back. Sucks to have car problems. It does, but I'm thankful that my car is running. I'm thankful, and small issues in the big term, but it's annoying. Antoine, living out of my Ford Fusion is pretty comfortable, but I never would have expected to live in my car in the winter. In Detroit, I give you a lot of credit, brother. This was definitely a test for me, but I'm proud to say I prevailed, and I will continue. Antoine, God bless you, man. Yeah, I mean, in Detroit in the winter, there was it's Miss Kimberly used to join a live chat. She said there's a guy on YouTube that lives in Detroit in his van. I checked his channel out. I wasn't really too happy with it. But, yeah, I mean, your climate and the state you live definitely plays a part in, in the comfort and the ability to live mobile, to live without utilities, to live without climate control. So yeah, that's definitely a key part of it. But if you want something, you figure out a way to make it work for you. It doesn't mean you won't have problems. It means that you'll have more passion than your problems. Your problems won't deter you because your passion is greater. Scott B, our Canadian brother from down in Florida. How you doing, brother? Hey, Sam, went to Boca Raton today. Damn, too crowded. Yep, it does get crowded on the weekends. Sick of Hobo Sound Beach. Sleeping in the SUV at the state park. Um, uh, uh, Sick to Hobo Sound Beach. Sleeping in the SUV at the state park. Nice breeze in the evenings. That's beautiful, brother, man. Scott, I'm so proud of you, man. Yeah, Boca Raton can get crowded. You got to go, pretty much that Jupiter, Hobo Sound, Jensen Beach, Hutchinson Island Beach, even Fort Pierce on the island side, on the A1A side. That's the nice area. Once you start to go south and you get to Boca, it does get crowded. And then Boca to Miami is very crowded. That's, it's all like a city area. It's all metropolitan area. But I'm glad you're holding up. Some beautiful state parks there, brother. Beautiful state parks in that area. So many in Florida. And that's the outdoor nature, wildlife part of Florida. That there are so many state parks that you can set beautiful tent camp up and then, just sleep in your car, do whatever. That's great. Start back. Traveling on the beach, drinking Cuban coffee with Colombian women, wearing yoga pants and eating some skinny pop with a water bottle next to you sums up a nice vacation. Would you like, right? I would love that vacation. Right now, I would just love to not have my service engine light on. But I would certainly love to pull up to the Jeep dealership and have a nice Colombian girl service me with fixing the engine check oil within 15 minutes, serving me Cuban coffee, and then bending over in the yoga pants to check the engine light. But that being said, I want to keep it clean. I want to keep it nice. I don't want to get too crazy. Just a little joking. God bless you. Sheila, I have purchased an older Toyota Micro motorhome, which is only 19 feet long. I like 19 footers. I was looking at Cruise America where you can rent RVs, and they have the compact 19 footers, but they cost like $150 to $200 a day to rent. I was going to take my mom down to Florida with me. That's too much. But I like the 19 foot. I like that size. I am trying to let go of things that bind me. Yes, that's part of living light. You gotta let those things go. So I can travel 6 months and live in Florida the other 6 months. Sheila. And then she gave the sunflower emoji. Sheila, I'm totally with you. I love that dream. Your dream is very similar to mine. And it's a good plan. I think I know that kind of the RV, SUV you're talking, the motorhome you're talking about. I've seen a couple of them, I think, that you're referencing down in Florida. The only problem with used is you do have to be careful on the road. I mean, I got a new car, year and a half old, 75,000 miles on it though, and I have some issues. So, when you got to service motorhomes, a little bit more of a problem. But that being said, you got to keep going forward on your dream. Keep throwing stuff out. Keep lightening your load. Because if it's your dream, if it's something inside you, you die without going after it. You die each day. I mean, I feel that in my soul. I've been saying to myself recently, like, I mean, I'm making steps, but I'm like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going forward because I'm just not at peace. But it's a balance of, again, living urgently and living responsibly. So it's always a counterbalance, and it's a tough thing, but we know the answers are inside us. We have to lighten our load so that we can see clearly and not get distracted by the things that are irrelevant to our passion. And so, again, we want to make life as simple as possible. So every decision we make, is this bringing me closer or further away from my dream? Is it bringing me closer or further away from my dream? And then you make the decision based on that. And we go from there. Mezzo, something made me check YouTube just now, and your live stream just started. I'm going to put my headphones on and do some shopping, but I'm listening. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone listening. I really do. It means a lot to me. Very thankful for all the positive feedback on that. And yeah, put your headphones on. I don't think I'm going to curse and do too much wild stuff tonight. Pretty much a little bit in a mellow mood. That used to be one of my nicknames when I was young. Very young, Mellow. They used to call me Mellow because I was mellow. As I got older, I learned that I definitely have to get my energy levels up to do what I need to do to get stuff done. But I certainly have a mellow side of me, relaxed side, etc. So, we are different ways and different moments in our lives, right? We're never one thing. We're never in one place. And it's good to be that way, to have different gears, so to speak. Put it in fifth gear, downshift, etc. Start back. Have to keep a safe environment for everyone. Yes, the job of a leader is to keep a safe, healthy environment. You have to speak the truth. You can't be too politically, I don't want to say correct, but you can't be too, you do a disservice to people when you don't speak directly. That being said, you also do a disservice to people when they don't feel safe to share their voice. It's a balance. Nobody's perfect, including me. I'm not perfect, but I do take seriously. I feel I'm a leader, and I take it serious to try. I'm not perfect. To try to create an environment for myself and for others to be themselves, to share, and to feel safe. And we go from there. I fail sometimes. Sometimes I've been a little bit tough on people politically. As I reflect back in my early days in YouTube, talking about a couple political things, and from time to time I say I could have been a little bit more gracious on that. I was a little bit rough, but that's part of life. You're not going to always uh, hit the baseball, so to speak. Sometimes up the plate you strike out. A baseball player, if he gets a hit 3 out of 10 times he's up to bat, he's a Hall of Famer. If you bat 300 for your career, you're pretty much in the Hall of Fame. You only have to be right 30% of the time. So what does that mean? 70% of the time you may fail in life, but you could still be a Hall of Famer. And you have to remember that when sometimes you do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, make the wrong decision, that yes, you got to learn a lesson. Yes, it's fucking bitter to swallow. But you also have to pick yourself back up. You also have to give yourself grace. And you have to live light. Now, that's part of living light too. Part of living light is not just financially and minimalism. Part of living light is living light in your thoughts, right? And so, a lot of times we are our own worst enemies. Nas on the Lost Tapes had a song about that. I'm my worst enemy, and that always stuck out on me. I forgot how it goes completely, but we have to be very conscious that our thoughts are not heavy, that our thoughts don't keep beating us up. Our thoughts don't afflict us with harm. That's part of a heavy mind. Your mind needs to be light. Your mind needs to constantly let go of thoughts. Your mind needs to constantly let go of moments, not hold on to moments too long, not hold on to things. Part of getting rid of different materialistic items as you downsize is your mind has formed a connection with those things, and you feel like if you throw them out, you've lost too much money. If you throw them out, you're disrespecting a relative that gave them to you. If you throw them out, you aren't honoring the person who passed away. When my dog passed away, I had to throw out all her stuff in her room, and it's tough. A lot of people, they have somebody that I knew somebody, his wife passed away of cancer, horrible thing, and he couldn't sell the house. His wife's room looked like a shrine, and he just couldn't get rid of the things. His mind was heavy with memories, with pain, with sorrow. Can I understand that? Hell yeah, I can understand it. This world ain't easy, especially if you deal with some horrible shit like that. But my word of encouragement for myself and others is that try to keep your mind light. Try to keep your thoughts light. Try not to worry too much. Try not to think too much to the point that you hurt yourself. Live light. Live light. Let me get back to some live comments so I don't... let me get back to some live comments. AJ, what's going on? Peace and love to all. How's everyone doing? Peace and love to you, AJ. I'm doing good overall. I got a damn service engine light on my Jeep Renegade, but I'm thankful, brother. Good to see you, AJ. Love and respect. Sailing John, great thoughts, Sam. Guess I'm blessed living so free. You are. I saw a guy, I watched a YouTube channel, John. There's a guy living out of his Honda Element. And he was in Florida past couple weeks, and he was sharing that as he gets older, he was on the west coast of Florida, Tampa and stuff like that. He said as he get older, he could see himself getting a boat and living full-time on a boat. So I thought of you when I saw him say that. Gilbert, what's up, brother? Love and respect to Queens. Hey, Sam. Hey, everyone. Good to be here. Good to have you, Gilbert. Peace and love. Yeah, I saw Noriega. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram. He was back in Queens this week. Left rack. Scott B. Sam, pick up one of those analyzers from Amazon to tell the code. It may be nothing to worry about, and you'll know the problem before taking it in. Thank you, brother. That's wisdom. I don't know if I'll do that. That's what happened last time. I had a service engine light come on when about 6 months. My first winter with the Jeep Renegade. It was a thermostat that blew, and it stopped the. I didn't have 4-wheel drive. This time, the engine light came on. 3 days prior, I had a clunky noise on my engine, and today I had a nasty smell when I turned my heat on. So I don't know if the radiator fan went or what it may be. So I don't know if it's a thermostat sensor or radiator fan or something else. So also I cannot use 4x4 at this time with that service engine light on. So I'll keep you guys posted. Certainly make a video about it to help other people that may go through it. And as I say that, thank you, though, Scott. Good comment, brother. Sheila says, how do you and Antoine stay warm in the winter? I'll let Antoine speak for himself, but for me, this winter was very cold. In Jersey, we got below zero for a few weeks. I did some videos on it. Layer up. I did a video on that. You have to layer up. You have to put Under Armour compression. You have to have hoodies. You have to have Scully caps. You have to have like 3 pairs of socks. Then you have to have a sleeping bag. I have a 20 below rated sleeping bag, 20 below Fahrenheit, and that's about $50 at Walmart. And then you're still freezing. I'll wake up like 4 a.m. in the morning. I have to turn on my car and go to Dunkin' Donuts or go to a gas stop or something, and turn the car on, run the heat. It's cold. It's hard. There's a few months. There's a couple months during the course of the winter. If you live in the Northeast, if you don't live in a southern state, it's hard as hell. Same thing with summer. There's a few weeks that are very hard. What's the reason to do it? Only if you have enough passion to push past that. If you're not passionate about really living that type of lifestyle, you're going to say, all right, I had enough of this, or I saved enough money, I want to go do something else. And many people do that. Or many people then get RVs so they can have the hookups and stay at a state park or do whatever. So, it all is up to the person. For me, I'm totally okay with doing it for now. I mean, eventually, like I said, my long-term plan is to live and travel with the weather, to be in Florida definitely for the winter and probably for a lot of the summer. So that will avoid that problem. Obviously in the summer when it gets real hot, I'll have to see how that goes. But as far as if I was in Florida, but that's my answer. Joe Humphreys buying my Jeep this week. Brother, be careful. I got that service engine light on again, man. There ain't no way I'm recommending the Jeep Renegade right now after I got that damn service check engine light on. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I wish you the best. Would I buy the Jeep Renegade again? I mean, probably. I got a lot of miles on my car, so I can't really bitch. I got 75,000 miles. Car's like a year, 9 months, whatever it is. So, look, no matter what car you have, especially when you have a lot of miles on it, you're going to run into issues. It's part of the gig. So it's understandable. Gilbert, Sam, I have a problem with my minivan. Freeze plugs blew, need to replace, also need new inspection, still paying insurance, not using van, thinking of putting it up for about 6 months. What do you think? Well, if it's your only form of one is if you can't drive it, I would get rid of it. Well, I don't know, is it your only car? There was a season in my life where I had 2 cars, and having 2 cars for one person is inefficient, even if they're both paid off for. You should only have 1 car, in my opinion. You should do what you want. So, yeah, if you don't have the money to repair, how old is it? How many miles is on it? And then that's how you evaluate, if you're going to spend more money to repair it. How old is it? How many miles? Do you have another car? Do you have the means to purchase another car? That would be part of the process of me deciding if it'd be wisdom to keep it. So I would ask you those questions. Mizzo, you just touched on why I live in my mom's Mercedes. Because how can I get rid of the last connection I have to her, even though upkeep on this car is expensive? Well, in my opinion, again, I understand there's a lot of pain when you lose someone, so I don't want to try to devalue that pain or speak, or speak down to that pain. But what I can tell you is that car is not your mother. Your mother lives inside you. The memories are with you, and sometimes it's painful. Just like my dog's sleeping blanket, my dog's bones, my dog's toys, they're not hers. She's gone. Her soul has left this world. Her soul still lives inside me. Your mother's soul is still with you, all the things she taught you. But you can get rid of it. You can go to the junkyard and have that thing smashed, and your mom is still alive within you. A materialistic item does not hold value, but our mind allows it to hold value. And again, part of living light is not just materialism; it's mental health. We can't allow our thoughts to control us. We have to take every thought captive. We can't let our thoughts take us captive. And when we hold on too much to the materialistic item, our thoughts are heavy. Our soul is heavy. Our soul's meant to be light. Our thoughts are meant to be light. That's why we're not told in the scriptures to allow the thoughts to take us captive. We're told in the scriptures to take every thought captive and make it obey the Spirit of Christ. And, part of mental health, I mean, mental health is always in the news, whether it's with a school shooting or whether it's whatever. I mean, part of mental health is not allowing heavy thoughts to run deep in our mind. I mean, that Florida shooter, he lost his mom last year. Does that justify what he did? No. But what I'm trying to tell you is that that car is not your mother. Your mother's inside you. But I realize that's hard. So that's why I'm trying to be sensitive in how I say that and compassionate. But these are the different things that are running through my mind as you asking me that question. So I want to answer it directly. I don't want to give you a pandered speech. You have to let go, period. But I understand the pain. And you will let go if the pain gets enough. I mean, if the financial burden of that car gets too much, I mean, you'll let go of it. That's all I'll say too, that, look, because we can only take so much, and we have to go forward. Gilbert was thinking of getting a bigger van, E250 maybe. I had a cargo Ford E250 van when I did contracting. You should really only get that type of van, in my opinion. You should only get that type of van if you're going to pull something or if you're doing some type of contracting work. That extra capacity, pulling 250 tons or whatever, I don't know, not pulling 250 tons, I'm off on that. But the extra capacity van is not needed unless you're going to use that capacity. That's part of living light too, is being efficient. Now, if you're going to use that extra capacity van for towing means, for storing things, for a business or something like that, then it's needed. But if you're not going to use that extra capacity, then you should get a small, efficient car that is reliable for your needs. Because people tend to buy more than they need and they use less than they buy, and that bursts a heavy spirit. Because you're not living light, you're living heavy, and that hurts you mentally, financially, and it also slows you down from living a life that is able to focus on your creative vision for your life. And so that's my thoughts, but I want your life better than me. I don't want to dictate your life. Those are my thoughts. Don't want it, Gilbert. Mezzo, yeah, this winter was tough in Toronto. Learn that I can survive sleeping in negative 15 degrees. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm not sure either. Well, what is it, a 50 degree? It's a 50 degree conversion, I think. So that's like 35 degrees. Is that correct? Well, no, 15, and then 35. Yeah, that would be a 15, 40. Yeah, I think that's about 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Somebody could Google it and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you couldn't do that, then you damn sure, I don't know. Then that would be tough. I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that. You have to know yourself and then put yourself in that position. A lot of Canadians in Florida, and that's why. I mean, I've seen a lot of Canadians when I was in Florida. Start pack. Try fake smiling. That may make you feel better. It makes me feel a little bit better, but I don't want to give you guys fake energy because it's disingenuous. I'm very thankful. I'm very positive, but I want to be myself. I want to, reflect where I'm at this moment to document my life. But I'm very thankful, and I'm blessed, and I appreciate you, Star Pack. Scott B. Hey, Mezzo, you from Toronto? Me from Oshawa. Shit January. What's that mean? Oshawa shit January? Gilbert, 148,000 miles, 2,000 Dodge, a caravan, too cold to work on myself, and I don't want to plan on riding my bike this spring and summer and either fix or buy a different van. Yeah, 150,000 miles basically for an 18-year-old vehicle. I would say the life expectancy is up. What's the life expectancy of an average vehicle? They say between 100 and 200,000 miles, but I would say 150,000 miles is average before you have major engine or transmission problems. And the average car in years is usually about 11 to 12 years. So you're above life expectancy based on the two major metrics, which is the age of the vehicle and the mileage on the vehicle. Without you putting major money into that, it's just going to be too much of a burden, in my opinion. So if you had the capacity, yeah, I would get rid of that. And I believe in buying new. It doesn't avoid problems, but buy something new and simple. But that's just my opinion. And again, you have to choose what's best for you. But I appreciate the question and the conversation. Pack Live, what's up, Sam? Sunglass emoji, what's up, brother? No sunglass emojis needed today in Jersey, even though in my spirit they're always there, because it was cloudy in the 30s today. It wasn't freezing, but it was cloudy. Check engine light on. Certainly don't make me want to put the sunglass emoji on. Make me want to give the emoji, but I'm very thankful. Back Live, how are you in California today? How was the weather there, and how's the family? Gilbert, remember, I still want to put a small barber chain in the van. No, I remember that. Your vision for your life, your dream is to have a mobile hair cutting shop. And I'm not mad at that. And so, yes, if you're going to use it for such, then I would say, then go in that direction. But just make sure that you go in that direction. But yeah, if you are, then I say praise the Lord. Gilbert, I was going to raise the roof on the minivan. Well, that's a big renovation. I mean, but again, you're speaking to a guy who don't like renovations. You're speaking to a guy who likes simple. So you know your vision. That's what I would tell you. And you just gotta make sure that whatever you get is reliable. So I would say, you got to go after it. Mezzo, -15 is 5 degrees in Fahrenheit. Just looked it up. Oh, damn, I didn't know that. Thank you. So it's only a 20-degree delta, only a 20-degree difference. Wow, it's way off. Thank you, Mezzo. Yeah. Mezzo. Hey, Scott. Oh, Goonloso 203 New Haven, Connecticut's in the building. You were just talking about mileage with vehicles, and my 2001 Honda Accord engine just seized up. Oh, I'm with you, Goon. At 151,000 miles, which honestly, for a Honda Accord, is not good. Goon, I'm sorry going through that. I know it's a pain in the ass, man. I'm sorry, Goon, but thank you for sharing. And that's why I love these live feeds, because, I share on a topic, but the real magic is you guys checking in, sharing the comments, us having conversation to help one another, to help a few people that may not comment, but they're listening in, and a couple new people, Antoine from Detroit, Homeless Lives Matter, who was in here tonight and also yesterday. So it's great to meet new people. It's great to have a conversation. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to me. Thank you. And I'm sorry going through that, Goon. Gilbert, had 2 years and only paid $700. Believe I got my use out of it. Gilbert, sorry to hear that, Goon, but I feel your pain. Amen. Yeah, if you had it for 2 years and you only paid $700, oh, yeah, you definitely, Dennis, you definitely got your use out of that. Then I would just move forward with my life. If you had the financial ability to buy something else, because you're just gonna put too much money into that thing. It wouldn't be worth it, in my opinion, Gilbert. Yeah, it sucks. Life problems, car problems, they all suck. I don't want to lie to you. They all suck. I'm just turning my battery on here because I want to charge my phone. Somebody commented on something. I'm just looking at a comment feed. But yeah, it's a Saturday night, and I'm thankful. I don't have much on my spirit, other than kind of what I shared. Dazzo's in the building. Hey, bro, what's up? What's up to you? Sending love from the UK. UK, man. Love and respect to the UK. Thank you for that, man. Very encouraging to me. I'm a little down in the dumps tonight, so I appreciate that. It's always beautiful to hear from new viewers and old viewers like Gilbert says. Thanks, Sam. Thank you. Dazbo, love and respect to the UK, man. United Kingdom. That's great, man. It's beautiful to talk to people from around the world. It makes us realize that
I am hosting the Law and Crime Live
AM radio came on. Scott B. It is cold in New Jersey, Sam. It's warm here in Jupiter. Oh, one of my favorites, 78 degrees in Fahrenheit in Jupiter, Florida. Jupiter, Florida, man. Beautiful area, man. Beautiful. Scott, man. I'm jealous, but I'm happy for you, brother. Because that's where I would want to be right now. If that's where I want to be. That's where I should be. So what should I do? Well, I might this check engine light, get it fixed. Get a brand new Toyota Prius, and that's it. I'm not putting 75,000 miles. Well, now going forward, once I will make a transition, and with my job or something, whether it's working remote or something like that, or living off my investments, then I'm not going to be doing as much traveling as I do now. I'll travel up and down the state, but 75,000 miles that I put on within the past year or so, that's a lot of traveling. So, I know I put a lot of demand on this car. So my next one, it's going to be a little bit easier on the car. So, but I was in a transitional period in my life where I was trying to explore the different areas that I may want to call my home or home base or home base area. And so, that took a lot of exploration, and that put a lot of miles on the car. Daz bro, surely bro, the life you live must be lonely. How do you cope, bro? How do you stay sane? Surely you would prefer to travel to hotter climates. Thank you, Daz bro. Well, one is, as far as alone, I kind of touched on that. I like being alone for the majority part of my life. I have real life relationships that I connect with people, but it's on a limited basis. I get invitations all the time to go to different parties and events and things like that. I have no desire to do it. I've always kind of been like that. When I was young, I would go to the parties and events because I wanted to experience it and I felt like I should. But I don't want a relationship. I've certainly been rejected in life, but I've turned down relationships. I've turned down social things. I'm not antisocial. I have a healthy relationships in my life, but I don't like them. To me, they're too much work. It makes my mind heavy. So for some people, they want them. They have a goal of a family. They have a goal of being snuggled up with a significant other. They like going to parties. They like entertaining. I don't like that. So to me, it would be a burden, not a blessing. I know myself well. When I was younger, I didn't know myself well, and I thought, well, if I thought like that question was stated, I thought, well, I have to be lonely because I'm by myself. But come to find out, once I took care of myself, once I knew myself well, I am happier by myself than I am in a room full of people I really don't fuck with. Or even if I fuck with them, I don't want to be around a bunch of people talking about nothing, drinking coffee and cake and drinking beer and watching football. That doesn't inspire me. Some people that inspires. It doesn't inspire me. But that's just me. Not everyone is me. So again, please, that's just me. So I don't feel lonely. I feel very encouraged. And I feel very sane. I have a healthy mind, healthy life. And then he says, surely do you prefer to travel to hotter climates? Yes. Florida is my favorite state. That's my goal. I'm probably like phase 3 of my goal. Phase 1 was to find myself, to get direction, to get a focus. And I did that. Phase 2, take care of myself. I lost 200 pounds, got my life back in order, refocused myself, etc., etc. Phase 2 was to downsize, sell my house, simplify my life, get rid of the things that weigh me down, live a light life, and then explore. I explored the entire East Coast of America. That's what I wanted to do. I don't want to travel beyond that at this point in my life. I've always had a vision of Florida. I've always had a vision of palm trees. I always had a vision of living in a tropical climate. So right now, phase 3 is responsibly transitioning my job, whether it's through a remote job, which there's certain opportunities with that, and I'm looking into them within my company, or eventually one day just living full-time off my investments. But I want to do that responsibly because why? Life happens. Certainly you can have a budget. Certainly you can have investments or a business that you can say that, all right, on average I make this much, but then all of a sudden your service engine light comes on or your car takes a shit, and all of a sudden you got an extra couple $1,000s worth of unplanned expenses. So certainly that's why you have an emergency fund. But when you don't have a steady flow of income, that can hurt you mentally. So I'm doing phase 3 very as responsibly as I can. Like I said too, there does come a point where you got to take a level of risk, but I try to mitigate my risk as much as possible and try to live responsible. But that kind of answers the question. Good questions though. Snanfi Times checking in from Philly. Cool channel. Thank you, Sanfi. I see you on a couple comments say too. Love and respect to Philly, man. A city of brotherly love. I did a lot of traveling in Philly. I'm not too far from it. So I love Philly. Philly is a beautiful city, man. A lot of historical culture. I don't know if I did some videos in my early days with the YouTube channel from Philly. Definitely on Instagram and stuff. Philly's a great city. Of course, you think of the Rocky statue, but that's away from the city. That's up on a hill by a museum. And then once you go down into the city, that Rocky statue, that's all the way out. It's like you can't walk, and then you go inside the city. It's beautiful. They have the city hall is a beautiful thing. It's got like a little courtyard, like a compass on the floor, and street performers. You got the one Metro Plaza or something, the tall skyscraper there. You got some beautiful new sports stadiums there. And then of course, you got the different local communities. There's a lot of murals on the side of the buildings in Philly. A lot of beautiful street art, paintings on the side of buildings, beautiful. And rich in culture, great city. I definitely would put Philly on your list if you've never visited Philadelphia. Great city, great city. Better Video Tubes, also known as Tom. Tom, we could use a joke tonight, man. I'm sitting over here stressing, man. I got the check engine light on, brother. Better Video Tubes, good evening. 82 degrees in Fahrenheit in South Kakalaki. Yeah, South Carolina, man. You guys are at 82 degrees? Wow. God bless you, Tom. Hope you had a good day, brother. Good to see you, always. Gilbert, Sheila, I was going to do the work myself. Would have cost me about $300 in materials, but I would pay in doing the labor. Yeah, it always sounds good to do things ourselves. I was watching a YouTube video before I went live on this. I was seeing people who replaced their radiator fan in their Jeep Renegade. And there was this one guy who loved to work with his hands. He had a garage. He was all into that. But he tried to get the radiator fan out from the top, couldn't get it. He said it was miserable. He likes working with his hands. He bought the fan assembly himself, and he said it was miserable. He ended up having it. He couldn't get the fan assembly out the top of the hood, and he couldn't get it from the bottom of the car. So you know what he had to do? He had to lift his whole, he had to anchor his engine. He had to lift his whole engine up to get the radiator fan out. There is no such thing. If you've ever worked with your hands, there is no such thing as a 5-minute job. 50-minute job, bare minimum. Just to get the tools, the materials out is 15 minutes. And then just to start going, I mean, no job is 5 minutes. If you ever date someone, they say, oh, I got a 5-minute job for you, get the fuck away from that person. If you're a contractor and somebody says, yeah, I got a 5-minute job, can you take a look at it? You better plan for 2 hours. That's real life. Tony Williams, what's up, brother? Love and respect to Tony. What's up, Sam? Good, brother. How you been, Tony? Good to see you, man. Dasbo, wow. Love your honesty. Thank you, brother. Stay true and stay you, bro. Thank you. Thumbs up to you. So what about retirement time? You gonna head down to Florida and live in a mansion by the sea, right? Well, I'm definitely not gonna live in a mansion. I don't want to live in a house. I don't want to live in a big. Nothing about a house inspires me. Money aside, is nothing. No desire for a house. I do maybe a home base. Maybe I have a piece of land, whether it's an RV lot or just a piece of land. Maybe that's possible, and maybe a small RV one day. Maybe once I settle. But I don't plan on waiting for retirement to get down to Florida. Retirement being, my 60s. I'm 37 right now. God willing. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I'll say God willing. This is my last winter I'm spending in Jersey. Next winter, I don't plan to be in Jersey. God willing. So that's my goal. I make goals. Sometimes I reach them, sometimes I don't, but I always end up better than what I started. And we'll see how it goes. But again, I want to do things responsibly, and I'm not going to just, abandon my job or my company without being able to maneuver that or something. Or, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to lie to you. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted, though. Mizzou. Sam, how do you make a decision that you have trouble with? Great question. Great question, Mizzou. What comes to my mind is you go back to, does the answer to the decision, whatever it is, you have to decide, does it bring me closer to where I want to be or further away? Yes or no? Does it bring me closer to where I want to be or does it bring me further away? And that's what comes to mind. Great comment, Mizzou. And then again, just keeping your mind light. And that's why, look, decisions are hard. Decisions are painful. I've said that often. That's the part of minimalism. That's the part of living life that helps you be able to make decisions better and more easily without the amount of pain. Because the more things you have, the more your brain has to work. The more your brain has to work, the harder it is to make decisions. The less decisions you have to make, the higher capacity brain you have to make the more important ones. There was a famous thing I read one time that a lot of famous presidents and intelligent people only had a couple changes of clothes. They had a lot of them, but they only had a couple types of suits of the same color, same type, because they found that the more decisions they had to make throughout the course of the day, less their brain capacity was to focus on the big decisions. So they didn't want to wake up every day and look at 5 different color suits and try to decide. So what they did is they had 1 or 2 color suits, and then they just had 15 of them. So they knew every day kind of what they were going to wear and what they were going to do. So their brain can focus on the more important decisions. So that's part of living light in one sense. Now, I wouldn't have 15 suits. I wouldn't even have 5. I would have 2 or 3. But that's my answer. Good question, though. Pat. Sam, back to the vegan thing. I was thinking about how in the deli tofu meatless section of the grocery store, my kin and I, most of us agree why if you don't eat meat, they make it taste like meat. My kin and I, most of us agree why if you don't eat meat, they make it taste like meat. Well, one is, try to make it appealing, and wean you off of the drug. Meat, one is, let me say this, meat doesn't taste like meat. Raw flesh, if you've ever eaten raw flesh, if you ever killed an animal and just ate that meat raw, it doesn't taste anything like you eat meat. If you ever, chopped up a body and ate that flesh, doesn't, and if you ever killed a pig and then ate that pig's raw flesh, it wouldn't taste like bacon. If you ever, killed a cow and ate his leg, it wouldn't taste like a rib bone steak. Meat only tastes good because you cook it in extreme temperatures, you saturate it with oil, then you saturate it with barbecue sauce, you dip it in ketchup, you put salt, pepper, oregano, and all these other things on it to dress it up to not taste like meat. And all it is a oily, greasy, barbecue, ketchup, pepper, onion, oregano, drenched in salt thing with the consistency of meat. Raw meat, flesh, tastes horrible. It's the oil, the butter, and everything else that people cook it in, and then all the condiments they put it on to make it taste good, and all those condiments have tons of sugar and sodium in it. That's what you taste. And so when you eat a vegetarian meat type thing, it's just the consistency, the thickness, the texture of meat they try to give you without the harmful, fleshy part of it. So that's my answer. Good question. I got fired up on that one. Better video tubes. Solitude raises your level of awareness. For me, it does. For some, it's not good. It has in my case, and it is amazing when when no one is talking, how much you hear. I agree with that. And it's a balance. Like I said, I do have relationships in life, and this live stream is a form of connection, but enough for me. Right? It's light enough for me. I can end this live stream at any time. People come in and out of this live chat, which I love for them. They have freedom. We're not really heavily burdened with each other. Right? I mean, so, for 1 hour a night, you can watch me, or you can watch me on replay, or you can just come in for 2 seconds and leave. I can end this live stream. That's the type of relationship I like. Low commitment, but I get what I want out of it. I get a level of connection. I get a conversation. So that I'm being honest with you. That's how I feel about it. Ed, hi Sam. Hey Ed, what's up, brother? Sheila, I'm just entering my phase 2. Slowly need to release my fears and start the ball rolling. I appreciate your positive thoughts. Looking forward to making my life light. Sunflower emoji, Sheila. Amen, Sheila. Keep going forward is what I tell you. Keep going forward, and keep going forward. God bless you. Galaxy from England's in the house. Hey, Sam. Galaxy, love and respect to you, brother. Scott B. Some things look easy on a YouTube video and are hell when you get into it. I agree with that. And Scott B, I'm sure he's facing that right now because, he traveled from Canada down to Florida. I'm sure it wasn't like a lot of people who make like an edited video and they got music to it. And but I will say this. How do you know what you're meant to do? You have to do it. Why did I travel up and down the East Coast? Because I had to figure out what I don't want to do. I tell you what I don't want to do. I don't want to go up to the mountains in Pennsylvania. I don't want to go in the mountains of Vermont. I don't want to go to upstate New York. I don't want to go northwest. I want to go southeast. Now, some people may go southeast and they say, you know what? I don't want to go southeast. I want to go northwest. So YouTube videos sometimes, they definitely do make it, some of them make it look easier than what it is. And some of the journey is you have to go out there and get the experience to figure out what works for you. Nothing is easy, but whatever you find out, whatever makes you tick, whatever you find on your journey of exploration that fires you up, that'll be worth some of the non-glorious part. And that may change over time. Nothing in life stays the same forever, but you have to be true to the moment. You have to be true to thyself, and you have to push forward. Hanging by the beach. What's up, brother? Hello, Sam. Love and respect. Love and respect to you also. Sun face emoji. Don't stress. Probably just your gas cap. I don't have a gas cap. The Jeep Renegade don't have a gas cap. Damn it. So it ain't that. But I appreciate that positivity. Made me laugh. Put a smile on my face. Thank you, brother. God bless you. Sam. Hold on one sec, guys. Sam. Where was that? You are so right. Fixes are never quick and easy. I know I've been through more than my share. Amen. That's part of life. I know you have, brother. Pat, I got a sis who is a vegetarian but doesn't eat meat because she doesn't like the taste. I hear that. And again, when people eat meat, they're not really eating meat. They're eating butter, oil, barbecue sauce, and they're eating all the condiments that people put on top of meat to make it taste good. You know, no one really eats raw meat. So it's a little bit of a mind trick on people. Better Video Tubes. Joke to lighten us all. Here we go. Let's get it, Better Video Tubes. How can you distinguish the staff from the patients in the asylum? The staff has the door key. Damn it. Better Video Tubes coming in hot. The staff has the door key. Everyone's insane, basically. And, there was made me think. Go on, Better Video Tubes. Made me think of a guy I watch on YouTube. Somebody had sent him an inspirational quote. It's very powerful. I want you to listen to this. He said, "Live like the gate was left open." Very powerful. There's a tow truck backing up here. Thank God it ain't for me. I'm going to repeat that quote again. It says, "Live like the gate was left open." Powerful. Very powerful. Selling John. Yeah, I like that. My last winter here too, sure. Never coming back. Hey, man. If I'm coming back, it's to visit. Certainly not to bunker down for the winter. God willing. God willing. I don't want to be boastful. Dasbo. I'm a massive fan of The Sopranos. Oh, yeah. You ever meet any of the cast, like the legend James Gandolfini? No, I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's all right. This is how I know Jersey. No, I never met any of the. I never met any of the actors. I am very familiar with all the parts as far as the townships that were in that series on HBO, The Sopranos, which is basically, for those who don't know, The Sopranos was an HBO series based on the modern day mafia in the 2000s, which was basically a shattered version of the old mafias. A couple people left and doing petty type of crimes and stuff, and still controlling certain things, but at a, during their last leg. So, like I said, I mean, look, as somebody of Italian heritage, I'm 100% Italian. I mean, it's a dynamic that people have to deal with. I mean, I was never boastful. I watch stuff like that, and it gets you excited about the gangster life. It does glorify it, but it's also wrong. I mean, right? I mean, right now, Muslims get crucified, and immigrants that are from the Middle East, 90% of them good, 10% of them bad. So, but America loves to glorify the mafia. The mafia is a horrible terrorist group that killed more people than ISIS. A lot of people say that killed JFK. So, but they glorify that. They love The Sopranos. I watched it too. But that's not a representation of Italians. 90% of Italians, hardworking, blue collar. Now a lot of, white collar. But just hardworking, regular people like every other ethnic group. But they had a section of their heritage that, were in the underworld. Just like every other group. So I'm curious, because, and again, 80 years ago, when Italians were first migrating into the United States of America, they didn't want Italians here. Just like before that, they didn't want the Irish here. So, you could say that, at that time, the mafia certainly wasn't glorified. called them greasy-haired guineas, etc., etc. So I wonder in 100 years from now, when the majority of this country is a different shade, and it's more minorities and less, white, I wonder if there'll be a glorified series of ISIS or some, right? And people have no problem with it. And, so, because look, Sopranos is just a glorified terrorist group, mafia, and I'm 100% Italian. But society sometimes has it ass backwards on how we view things. Now, but I was caught into that as well. I used to glorify that. I used to like that because I was immature in my thinking. Again, when I was a child, I thought like a child and act like a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things. So part of life and maturing is you have to put away that idea that you want to be Godfather, that you want to be Tony Montana. I had those posters when I first bought my condo hanging on my wall, Scarface posters, Godfather posters, but that's a sign of immaturity. So, you have to become mature, and because that hurts a lot of people, and that's not, you won't evolve, thinking you're going to be the Godfather, thinking you're going to be Scarface, or you're going to be whoever. Those aren't the type of people you want to look up to. They did what they had to do in a tough circumstance in one sense, but in the other sense, you got to rise above that mindset. Because I know people that really live that life, and it leads to how Scarface died, right? People watch Scarface, but they don't remember the end of the movie. People watch The Sopranos, but what was the last episode? That basically somebody came in there, they didn't show it, but basically killed him. That's how The Godfather ends. That's how everything ends. Like, all those people end up down a bad road eventually, with a broken family, with horrible legacy that they leave behind. But, we glorify it over time. It's not good. Tony Williams, what do you think about doing what you're doing in New York City? It's a big place, and I might be over my head with the idea. What do you think about doing what you're doing in well, if you're talking about living out of a car in New York City, I mean, it can be done. It'd be harder. It's harder for me, in the more populated areas I'm at. I mean, I know a couple people that I've connected with through YouTube that do it. No Man's Land. I know Mae West from Brooklyn's thinking of doing it. So look, anything can be done, but to do it legally and safe is going to be harder. Because look, just parking a regular car, even if you're just visiting New York, is hard as hell in New York. If you ever visit New York City. Now, if you go to a different borough, if you go to like Queens, in certain parts where it's, more relaxed in certain areas, and if you go to certain areas of Brooklyn, then you may be able to do it. But if you go like, into Manhattan, or if you go into like, different really crowded areas, it's going to be very hard because it's not easy to park there, period. Forget about finding a place to park overnight. So I would say it would be harder. Is it impossible? No. But I say it's going to be harder, and you got to be careful that you don't have issues with the law, because again, you want to do things legally. I mean, like Scott's down there right now in Florida. It means at a state park, paying $20-some a night or whatever he's doing. I mean, you got to have that option. There ain't no state parks in New York City. I mean, there's Central Park, but you can't even park there. I mean, so, they shouldn't call that Central. It's not Central. I mean, you can't park in Central Park. So when I go into the city, I take the train. So I've drove in the city before. It's just not a pleasant experience. Forget about living out of a car. Galaxy from England. I haven't eaten any meat in a couple years now, but I've been thinking about eating some fish every once in a while, but I don't know. I eat fish about 10% of the time, or maybe a little bit more, depending. That's called a pescatarian, which is mainly a plant-based diet with some fish. So I do. There's some, what type of fish do I eat? Salmon, shrimp, or tuna. That's pretty much it. And not smothered in butter, not etc. I used to love crab. I haven't had crab in a long time. But most of fish is healthy. And when you say with animal cruelties, if you look it up online, it said, there's no 100%, but it said that fish do not have the neurological nerve receptors that have a brain that signals pain. So fish supposedly only feel the movement, like a flag would sway with wind. So a fish may go back and forth when he's out of the water, but it's just like him adjusting to the environment. But from what I've read, who knows how true it is, nobody probably knows, fish don't actually feel pain. Now, is that true or not? I couldn't tell you. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fish, but But that's the debate, because I did look it up, because I also care about a level of compassion towards animals and humanity. So, uh, that's part of a plant-based diet too. I mean, you do care about your environment and nature. Um, so it's a little bit all relative. Galaxy, your channel is growing so fast. Thank you. I'm appreciative, but I take it with a grain of salt. I forgot, I read something. I think it may have been my Mother Teresa that basically said, when people praise you, take it with a grain of salt, and when people criticize you, take it with a grain of salt. Now I'm paraphrasing that, but that's my mindset. I'm very thankful, I'm very humbled, and I appreciate the encouragement. It keeps me motivated to keep going forward with this channel. That being said, I have to just stay humble in it, and I have to just realize, look, don't let praise get to your head. Don't let criticism get to your heart. Be yourself, refine yourself, and go forward. And we'll see what happens, and we go forward. And I'm thankful. Joe's in the building. What's up, brother Joe? How are you, my friend? Sam, you inspired us. Thank you. I appreciate that. We threw everything away or donated and sold it. Amen. Kept the photos and tools. Time to sell the money hole called a house. I'm not mad at that. I got a comment today from a lady who said she's selling the money pit called her townhouse, and she's going to move into her Class C and travel. So obviously, look, it's gonna not be all sunshine and roses, but I think living light, I think minimalism is a blessing. Even if you end up back in a house maybe one day, or back in an apartment, it's going to be a smaller size apartment, because once you learn to live with less, you're never going to go back to an oversized life, and that's wisdom, and that's a blessing, in my opinion. And there was a movie with that. Was that also with Tom Hanks? I don't remember. There was a movie called The Money Pit. Maybe Chevy Chase. I'm not sure. There was a movie called The Money Pit. It was about an old house that this couple fantasized about. We're going to buy this old house. We're going to fix it up. It's going to be magical. And they bought this house, and it was just an endless money pit. Endless renovations. Endless amount of time spent dealing with contractors, dealing with maintenance, dealing with one thing after another. If you have a house, it never stops. The only way you're able to stay positive about it is if you have a greater passion for that than the pain. Now, some people do. Some people live in a very efficient, smaller house. They have the capacity for it, and they make it work. Most don't. Most live in a too big of house with too many things, and they feel the undercurrent of stress every night. And it's not easy. And I've been there, so there's understandable grace to you. But you're encouraged, you're inspired. Why? Because you feel what's about to happen. You're about to make your life lighter. And that's a blessing, in my opinion. Excuse the light. Somebody's putting on their headlights. That's what that is. Where am I at now? Galaxy, do you have any photos? The only phobias. Phobias is like anything I'm scared of. Not really. Not really. I don't like to fly necessarily. I'm not a big fan of heights, so I would say that would maybe be in that category. When I was younger, I used to have to I got to touch something 3 times, or else something bad will happen. Like superstitions, that would be called. And then as I got more mature, I let a lot of those thoughts go through the grace of God. But phobias, I would say the only thing that I kind of leer away from is heights and flying. And don't agree with me totally. So that would answer that question. Pat, I would rather have maintenance of a car than of a house. I hear that, and I agree with that. And that's the life I live, and I want that life. It does still suck, but because the bottom line is, why do I feel that way? Because the bottom line is, you're even if you have a house and a car, you're still gonna have car problems once in a while. So now you can have car problems and you can have house problems, and you haven't, so if you have just a car, it doesn't mean you eliminate problems. It just means that now you just have 1% of problems. But here's the downside for some people, probably most people. You have a car problem, this is your house. So now you got to rent a car, and you either got to sleep in that rent a car if this takes a few days, or you have to rent a hotel, or you have to stay at somebody's house. Some people don't want to deal with that. So, and again, if you have kids, if you have a family, you're not going to live with a family in a car, maybe a motorhome. But so it's relative. Most people, their dream is to have a loving family, to have a successful career, and have a house. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, I'm not shaming or talking down or disrespecting anyone. I'm just sharing my journey and people who are similar in that mindset. Better Video Tubes retract this statement. I did that last night in a live feed. And I said, oh, that's how it retracts. Because I tried to delete it, and I said, oh, when you delete it, it retracts. So I understand that. I did that last night. I was in somebody else's live feed. Galaxy, but I'm not sure. But I thought your channel was like 954 subscribers yesterday, and now it's 966 subscribers. Yeah, praise the Lord. It seems to be going up on that rate. Over time, it's gotten faster. Sometimes it'll be a certain level, and then the next day I'll have less subscribers. So you do lose. Sometimes I lose subscribers, sometimes I gain. But it has seemed like as I've been consistent, and over time it grows at a more rapid rate. So in the beginning, like I said, 2 months, I think I had a couple subscribers, and I knew most of those people, like from real life. So, but it's like anything. It's like any business. Anything you do consistently over time, it grows, and then it grows rapidly. Like, when you first go in the gym and you haven't been in the gym in a while, it takes 2 months to kind of really get your body and showing like really progress. Then after that, it just like grows more rapidly because you're in that groove and you're consistent. So that's the season I'm at right now on this channel. Obviously, it's going to feel very much of an encouragement to go over 1,000 subscribers. It'll also be an encouragement. It'll be remonetized because my channel did get demonetized because YouTube came up with the new rules that not only do you have to have a certain amount of views and hours, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, which changed in the new year. Because when I joined YouTube in July of 2017, the only mandate to monetize your channel, meaning to run ads and possibly get money off YouTube, was that you had to have at least 10,000 views. So right now I have close to 200,000 views. So I met that milestone within a few months, and then I got monetized. And then, like 2 weeks ago, I got demonetized because in January they sent out an email that not only do you have to have so many views, not only do you have to have so many viewing hours, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. If you don't have all three of those metrics, you will be demonetized until you meet those metrics. Once those metrics are met, then you will go through another automatic review that will take a couple of weeks. And if YouTube, which is owned by Google, deems it credible, then you will be remonetized. Does that matter to me? It's an encouragement. It's always nice to know you're getting a little bit of money for your effort. Does it matter in my me making videos? No, I'm still making them without being monetized. I made them in the beginning without being monetized. So it doesn't stop what I want to do. And not only do I make videos, I go live for hours. So it's something I enjoy doing. If I didn't enjoy doing it, I just fucking wouldn't do it. That's just how I am in life. It's just how I am. But it's been said. If you're doing YouTube for the money, it's not going to work out for you. And that's why most people do YouTube. They upload a couple of videos and they stop. If it's just for the money. Because it's not for that. You have to do a Patreon account. You have to sell stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how people get their hustle. But my income is from my job. And that's why I'm not in Florida right now, because I still value that. That's why I never went full-time into ministry. I had a nonprofit organization, but I still worked a full-time job. Why? Because I didn't want to beat people over the head for donations. I feel like it kills my message. It kills my spirit. When I do shit, I know I'm doing it, for being true to myself. I don't have to answer to anyone. And I feel free. I feel light. So, I think, everything. You see it in the political war. You saw it kind of like a little bit with Donald Trump or whatever. When you see somebody speaking and they don't really care, maybe financial ramifications of something, then it could be a little bit more themselves. When you see somebody because they got money, from a donor or whatever, they're going to be somebody else. They're going to play to the crowd. Like I said, I was part of a church one time, and I remember there was a problem with somebody, and instead of really speaking directly to that person, they said, well, we can't speak too rough to them, or too directly, basically, because they're one of the biggest donators, and they keep the lights on in the building. So that's part of life, man. Who we kidding? Look, if you have 2 kids, a mortgage, and 2 cars, and you're in a conference room and you hear something that you totally disagree with, are you going to speak up in that conference room? Probably not. Why? Because you got to play to the crowd. You can't afford to cause any type of problem. Not that look, even if you do have a valid issue, I never think you should cause a problem. You should be a solution-oriented mindset. You shouldn't be a contentious one. But I think you get what I'm saying here. Like, when you're under the gun financially, you're not going to be yourself. You're gonna just be a yes man or a yes woman because you can't afford to make waves. Even if the waves aren't being made by being an asshole, by just being honest, you can't afford that. And I don't want to live that life. I want to live free. Let me go back to some comments here. Pat, Sam, I should really proofread my text. No worries, I do that too. I am trying to listen to you at the same time. It doesn't work. Haha. No worries. Sometimes I send emails. I said, damn, I should have read that shit one more time. Everybody does it, and then they say, oh, I blame it on spell check. You're just writing that shit fast. But that's all right. I mean, that's how I am too. Look, I get it. Something doesn't have to be like greatly spelled or well put. I can read somebody's comment. I can listen to their conversation, and I know kind of what they mean. Like, I can understand the heart of the communication. So as long as I can understand that, then I really don't care about grammar and all that shit. It don't bother me. Hanging by the beach. What's up, brother? Laugh out loud. I am a girl. Oh, I'm sorry, beautiful. Yeah, I guess that's the best way. No problem. No way you could have known. Yeah, I know it's hard, man. I mean, look, you don't know who's on the other side of that dot. No matter what their profile picture, no matter what their tag name is, it could be hot girl by the beach. And you know who it is? It's Bubba from East Texas changing his oil out, taking screenshots of me masturbating. You don't know who is on the other side of that profile picture. That's the way this YouTube world also works. I learned that lesson. Not that I ever got caught catfishing, but I got caught a couple people suspect on their profile. So that's the internet world. But it's no disrespect. But love and respect to you hanging by the beach. Now I know you're a female. Thank you for telling me. Sailing John, just curious. What are your plans on rainy Sunday tomorrow? Thank you, John. Good question. Yeah, I was gonna go into New York City tomorrow, but with the rain, I'm not. I gotta actually fill in for somebody for my manager this week. He's on vacation, so I gotta be in the office on Monday. Usually I'm off on the beginning of the week. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Now with the service engine light on, I'm not gonna travel anywhere far in one day, and I can't even get a service tomorrow because all the service places are closed. So I don't know. I'm just gonna putz around. Probably just go try to walk. If I can't walk outside, if it's raining, I'll go to a Walmart or something, Lowe's, and I just walk around. I gotta walk, at least a couple hours a day to keep my blood flowing. I'll go to the gym, and that's it. It'll just be a basic day. Surf YouTube, take breaks in between, go to Starbucks, maybe walk more in a store. That's my backup when I can't walk outside. I just go to a store or go to a mall and I walk around. I keep that blood flowing, listen to my music, go to the gym, keep my mind in a healthy space, and then I'll watch YouTube, do something like that. So tomorrow will be a day killer. Just try to fill in the day and be healthy and productive. And then Monday, be back to work, and then try to make an appointment for get my car serviced, and that'll pretty much be my week. My week is pretty much filled with work obligations this week. Towards the end of the week, I'll have off, and then I'll see what I'll get into as far as my own personal time. But sometimes you got to go through pain and say, you know what, I got to get my ass moving because I'm not happy here. I've been feeling that way recently. Like, I'm thankful, and I know what you need in this world to survive. You need, to have certain stabilities. But I also know, I feel like I'm at that phase 3. And so I'm just trying to do it responsibly. Phase 3 is in that Florida life. NDC, good to see you, brother. Always miss you, man. Subscribe to The Right Vibe. Amen. Hi, Sam. Hey, chat. Spring is 23 days away in Canada. And then he gave sunglass emoji and smile emoji. Love and respect to our brothers and sisters in Canada, man. I give you guys a lot of credit. I met some great people from Canada this year. I'm very thankful for that. NDC, Scott B, Trend News. A lot of great people from Canada, man. And I've never been to Canada. And I probably wouldn't go only because I don't like the cold, not because of disrespect. But yeah, Canada, man. It's got to be. That's probably why there's so many people from Canada down in Florida. Those winters got to be brutal. Oh, but praise the Lord, NDC, man. You're a positive brother. Always good to hear from you. Better Video Tubes. Are they strict in New Jersey on the dark tint on the back car windows, Sam? From my understanding, don't quote me on this, Better Video Tubes, the back windows can be tinted. These came tinted with the dealership, so it has to be legal for them to sell. I brought it new. So And then they're pretty dark. I don't think they're limo, but they're about as dark as you can get without limo. But the front windows can't be tinted. So the back ones can be, the front can't. Now in Florida, I think you can tint everything out. Florida, they don't even have car inspections. So once you register your car and everything, you don't have to, like every 5 years in New Jersey, you have to go to the DMV to get your car inspected, new sticker. Down in Florida, you don't ever have to deal with that shit. I'm going to Florida. Somebody pray for me. I'm going to Florida. Pat, a lot of what we use, we get from animals for the cow hides, manure. The sheep, the wool, the goat, the lanyon. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the way it was. I mean, obviously there's other substitutes for that could be used in this modern day. You know, back in the day, in older times, there was a lot of things that society did that they don't do any longer. And eventually it'll be meatless, I think. It may take 100 more years, 200 more years, but, you know, society did a lot of things in previous generations that they did out of necessity. They knew no other way. But as society and humankind evolves, they find other substitutes for those things, right? So, you know, a lot of times they would use only wood for decks on a house. Then they realized that there's a lot to maintain. It's can wear and tear more. It's very heavy. So now a lot of times, what do they do to make decks on houses? They use plastic. They use hard plastic, PVC, Trex, no maintenance, basically decking boards. So when they used to have to cut down a tree to make a house or to make a board, now you can use hard plastics and other materials. There's substitutes. When you used to have to take a knife and cut a cow's throat in order to get meat, now you can get soy products and other things manufactured to substitute for that. So, you know, that's part of evolution. Better video tubes. Sam, this is a good channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is a positive thing. You will only get better as you reach your goals of moving to Florida. Well, I appreciate that. People will follow your dream and enjoy it as well. I'm very thankful for that, man. Thank you, Tom. I've really got a lot of people just encouraging me. I mean, I get 10% negative. I always share. At night, I wake up in the morning at 10% people curse me out, say some reckless shit. But 90% have been a blessing to me. And I've had a lot of great feedback. And, you know, there's sometimes I really think about that. And that inspires me. You know, there's sometimes I do think, man, is this shit even worth it? Because in one sense, it's just like, I just think that. I think sometimes this shit even worth it. Like to share my life. Because you got to think about, even if you made a little bit of money off YouTube, for most people, it's not worth it. But you share your life. You put yourself out there. You share your business. And it's a little bit of a burden or a little bit of a risky thing. But for me, I mean, it's corny. I mean, when I do hear people, and I like even Scott B, you know, he's down where I was, and I know some of those videos may have helped him. My man Edison Eagle went down there. Just like different people I watch their videos, they helped me. So I'm thankful for that. I mean, and so I like when you guys inspire me, and I'm thankful that I can inspire you. And it's love. I gotta start the car. I gotta connect my phone to this. Excuse me, guys. That damn service engine light back on. Pat. So if a rancher has all three livestock, what is he supposed to do with them? They can't all be dog food. He's got to evolve, right? I mean, so if a guy who his whole career dug ditches and now there's a machine that dig ditches, what does he have to do? He has to evolve. If society rode horses for 200 years and all of a sudden someone invented an automobile, what should they do? Evolve. Do they have to? No. You don't have to do anything. I mean, you should do whatever you want. But, you know, all of us have to evolve. So is it fair that a person who used to not have to work with a computer now has to work with a computer? No. I mean, but that's part of life. You evolve. So, you know, the guy wants to be on a ranch and live like Little House on the Prairie. Should he have to change? No, he doesn't have to change. But also the government shouldn't have to subsidize him to keep him in business. We talked about that before. I mean, you know, a lot of governments subsidize a lot of these farmers to keep them in business. A lot of, we talk about in Canada, a lot of their dairy products are subsidized. So, you know, look, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, so everyone gets subsidized. So do corporations, so do people. But look, if a farmer, you have to get away from, in my opinion, it's my opinion, everyone should do what they want. You have to get away from family traditions. Just because your father was a plumber doesn't mean you have to be a plumber. Just because your father owned a farm doesn't mean you have to be a farm. Because chances are you're following a tradition. You're just doing it because that's all you know. And, it may not even be who you really are. So look, in my opinion, if you're not hurting anyone, you should do whatever you want. My mindset is you're always going to have to change and evolve in life. Nothing stays the same. One of the best books I ever read was called Who Moved My Cheese? It's a powerful book based on there's mice in a maze. And for a long time, most of their life, there was cheese put in a certain part of the maze. And every day they would wake up and they would go to that part of the maze and they would get their cheese. Then one day they woke up and the cheese was no longer in that part of the maze. And there was like 4 different mice. And 2 of them said, oh, the cheese is going to come back. We got to keep doing what we're doing. It was here for the longest. It's always going to be here. The other 2 mice who had a mind of adapting, after a couple days said, you know what, this cheese ain't coming back. We got to change directions in this maze to find new cheese. Sure enough, it was the 2 mice that adapted and changed directions and found a different area in that maze that allowed them to get cheese. But it was the 2 mice that stayed in that one area where their cheese always was. They starved to death. And that's a life lesson, in my opinion. But again, if what somebody's doing is not hurting somebody, just do whatever they want. But they're all hurting animals. They're killing them. So, but I've eaten animals before too. So we're all human. Pat, I am a lady in my 50s. That's right, Pat. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes when I say Pat, people get confused. But just like my man Antoine, I didn't know how to pronounce his name. That's why I called him Ant. And Patricia, I tried to pronounce that, and I know that ain't right. So I just called her Pat. Love and respect to Pat. Better Video Tubes, 1850s. Better Video Tubes, a joke, Pat. We love Pat. D, I just got home. I missed a lot. That's all right, D. I do, there's a replay of this every day. Basically, what you miss is my check engine light is on. Pray for me. Live light. Don't live too heavy. Don't live too heavy with your thoughts. Don't live too heavy with your materialistic things. Don't live too heavy with too many obligations. Live light. And we met some new people on a live check-in, and that's pretty much all you missed. But it was some fun in between. Pat. D, hit replay. Sam is great. Thank you. I appreciate that, Pat. I love you. I love you, Pat. Pat can take a licking and keep on ticking. Pat, I think it's spelled Lanlin. I still know what the hell that means, but love and respect to Pat. Pat, got a bit of Video Tubes. Linda's in the building from Florida. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Hey, all. You are right. Who bakes bread anymore? 2 question marks. Laugh out loud. I turned 55 in April. 2. So, hi, Pat. Amen. Well, baking bread ain't hurting nobody. I'm not mad at that. But nah, not too many people bake bread anymore. What type of bread do I get? Whole grain, whole wheat. The darker the bread, usually the healthier. Refined white breads and things like that are more higher in sugar. They don't break down in your digestive system as well. So the darker the bread, the better. 3 steps to health. Cook home more, eat out less. Whites to browns. Switch that white bread to whole grain bread to dark bread. White rice to brown rice. Regular pasta to whole grain pasta. And limit or eliminate meats and dairy. Those are 3 steps to health. You don't need Weight Watchers for that. You don't need Oprah ripping you off. Now listen, I like some of the things with Oprah, but let me tell you something right now. If Oprah ran against Trump, I'd probably have to vote for Trump. I don't know. I got to see more. But I was very disappointed in Oprah's response on Ellen the other day to Trump's criticism of her slanted interview. Look, and Oprah, I already made a video about Oprah and Weight Watchers. I thought that was a big scam. Oprah's done some great things, but she's a little bit of a pander sometimes too. I mean, I wasn't feeling Oprah this week. Now look, I voted for Hillary last election, but you better come a little bit better. You got to come better to the table if you want to win. I thought Oprah may be able to Oprah's got to step her game up if she's going to think she's going to run for president. Mizu, Sam, I'm really glad you're doing this YouTube channel and live streaming. Thank you. Listening to you talk through issues really helps me. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. It helps me too. I mean, self-expression is part of therapy in a healthy environment. And I have learned that. So thank you, Mizu. Scott B. I turned 55 in January. So hey, Pat. Hey, Linda. Hey, man, Scott B's on the prowl down there. Scott B, don't you take all those MILFs. Leave some MILFs for me, brother. Praise the Lord, Scott B. Joe, somebody once said, don't eat anything with a face. That makes me hesitant. That's true. Now, look, again, I ate my share of chicken. I ate my share of steak. And once in a while, you may catch me backsliding. 90% plant-based diet. So, again, I think if right now you eat nothing but meat, hey, look, even if you got to 50% plant-based diet, I think that's better than nothing. And it's not easy, but I think I think a plant-based diet, like Albert Einstein said, that a vegetarian diet will help society health-wise like nothing else. So I think that's wisdom. Scott B, and retired and free. Scott B, you got a good pension, brother. Canada taking care of their citizens, man. You got universal health care, retired at 55. What'd you do for your career, Scott B? D, I have that book. Oh, D, great book, right? Who Moved My Cheese? It's not too big of a book. It's a small book. Great book. I know I paraphrased that book, but that was the overall message of it. Linda, good people here tonight. Thank you. Yeah, well, overall, we always have good people. Once in a while, I get somebody negative. That's part of life. Life is 90% positive, 10% negative. 10% negative make a lot of noise. Sometimes you forget about 90% positive. Don't do that. Not a lot of positive people in the world. Scott B, I always look forward to your show. I appreciate that. My show wouldn't be anything without you guys. I mean, I would still go up here and give my spiel, but it wouldn't be magical. I mean, the only reason it's good is because you guys join it and you share your comments, so I appreciate that. Linda, laugh emoji, sunglass emoji, and then hand wave emoji. Thank you. Somebody wave their hand and get rid of this engine light. Damn it, but I'm thankful. Let me see. It's still on? Damn, it's still on. All right. What are you going to do? Pat, it's what they make lotion. It's just our skin soft. Just a thought, Sam. I'm not mad at that. I like cucumber lotion, cucumber scented lotion. I like a scented lotion. I use that after I get out of the shower. Baby powder, then lotion up. Lottie Dottie. That's a good song. Gilbert, hey, I'm 54 in January. Linda, I'm 54 January 15th. Linda Scott B. A lot of people in their 50s. I'm not mad at that. What's the average life expectancy? 78. What does that mean? Get your ass moving. Because life is over in a blink of an eye. And the older you get, the more your physical body starts to break down. I feel it in my mid to late. I feel it in my late 30s. So believe me, I know it's coming, and I'm in relatively good shape. Seize the moment, carpe diem. I agree with that. Scott B. Worked for the city for 35 years. Amen, government worker. I'm not mad at that. You got a good pension, 35 years. You worked hard. You deserve your life. I mean, shit. They want people. You know what? You know what the top age for collecting Social Security is to get your full benefits? 70. 70 in America. Work till 70 before you can collect full benefits. Who did that? Ronald Reagan increased the rate when he did tax reform for the wealthy in the 80s. Okay, sound familiar? Now listen, but I'm not against tax reform. I think some of it was good. Listen, 70 years old to wait to collect full retirement benefits from Social Security? You're out of your mind. You think you're going to be doing like windsurfing at 70? Hell no. You'll be lucky if you have enough strength to get your ass in an RV, start the engine, and go. But that being said, I mean, live light so you don't have to depend on Social Security as much as you can. I mean, look, 35 to 40% of society depends on Social Security as their primary source of income. So, but all I'll say is, Scott, you're blessed, brother. You worked hard for it. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been to Canada, so it's tough to say. But it sounds like, I mean, Canada taking care of business, man. I mean, it sounds like, their citizens live a good quality life. They got health insurance. They retire at a certain age. They got pensions. I mean, I don't want to speak for Canada because I never lived there. But, I mean, a lot of positivity sounds like. Too cold, though. Too cold for me. And I love America. I love America. Very thankful for America. America's a great land. I love everyone. I'm just sharing. Gilbert, what book? Who Moved My Cheese? I forgot who the author was. Something Spencer, I think. Somebody, if they know who the author was on the book Who Moved My Cheese, they can write that. Linda, that's all true. Time goes so fast. It does. Mezu, I'm 30. I just had my first taste of forgetting things, feeling old. Yeah, the memory does go. I mean, part of life. I watched a YouTube video today on sleeping, the benefits of sleep. When you don't get the proper sleep, your mind is not able to retain new memories. When you sleep, and approximately between 6 to 8 hours per night. When you sleep that amount of time, there's a detoxification that goes on through your mind that lessens the chance of dementia, etc. The less sleep you get, the weaker your immune system is, and the more your body and your brain specifically breaks down. You need, as an adult, 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night. That's very important. Scott B, wait till 40 and all the aches and pains start. I hear that, brother. Take care of yourself, man. Everyone out there, look, self-care is the new healthcare. That being said, you're never going to eliminate age. What did we talk about in the beginning of this live feed about car life expectancy? It's the average car lasts 150,000 miles and approximately 11 to 12 years without major problems happening. So I don't care how well you take care of that car. That is major milestones. So I don't care how well you take care of your being. Look, as you get older, your body breaks down. That being said, take care of yourself well so that you can keep yourself in best condition possible so you don't break down quicker than needed. I think, don't quote me on this, but certainly research it and fact check me, is I think after the age of 40, your body stops regenerating cells, and the only thing you can do is preserve them, and they start to die off. So it's very interesting. Yeah, after you get over 40, half your life is over. If the average life expectancy is 78, let's just round it up to 80. Once you hit 40, half your life is over. And you're in a downslide. Does that mean you should give up in despair? No, but it means you should be mindful to live urgency and get out there and live your dream. Damn it, I'm 37. I got to get my ass down to Florida. What the hell am I still doing here? I got to make a little bit more money, and I got to get down there. Because at some point, you got to be like Al Pacino in Carlito's Way. The dream don't get no closer than this, baby. We got to go for it. I got to get on that train before Benny from the Bronx comes after me. God forbid. Oh, CD, what's going on, brother? CDP, I'm not going to pronounce that right, so I'm just calling him CD. CD, thanks for the advice. I'm 23, and your videos help me so much. CD, love and respect and welcome, and thank you for the comment, brother. Peace and love to you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, CD. Scott B, 65 Canadians get old pensions. 65 Canadians get old age pensions. Oh, okay. So 65 is, it used to be 65 for Americans. As far as their full retirement benefits. You can still take your Social Security at 62 or 65, but you take a reduction. You don't get the max amount. You get a deducted amount. Like, instead of you getting $1,500 a month from Social Security, if that's your max cash out, at 62 you'd get $1,000, and at 65 you would get $1,200, and then if you wait till 70 you get $2,000 or whatever. In the United States of America, what is the average amount that that someone collects from Social Security? $1,400. Can you live on $1,400 a month? Ask yourself that, because that's what the average person gets that's on Social Security. Pat, goats have lanolin. It's a natural something that came from God. Just a thought. I have to do more research on that, but I appreciate the comment. I don't know, I'm not informed enough about it to give you a good conversation, but I appreciate the comment. D, Spencer Johnson. Thank you, D. Spencer Johnson is the author of the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Thank you, D. Mezzo, I sleep tons, 8-10 hours per night, always. Can't do anything without sleep. Amen. When you're young, you think you can do without sleep. You're going to learn that. It's a mistake as you get older. Now, certainly my mom's around 70, and she struggles with sleeping too much. That's not healthy either. You shouldn't sleep more than 8 hours on average. So be mindful of that also. My man Gilbert, I believe when you realize the true values, life becomes easier. Good point, Gilbert. Because you no longer want the materialistic things that once pleased you. Gilbert, good point. It goes back to what somebody said the other day. They used a parable of computer programming. Old binary computer programming was like everything is a 1 or a 0. And he used this analogy that you should always treat your decisions as, are they a 1 or a 0? Meaning, does the decision you're going to make, does it bring you closer or further away from living your dream? And that's your answer. Don't overcomplicate the decision. If you make this decision, does it bring you closer or further away from your dream? And that's how you know what to do. Not easy, though. It's not easy. I understand. Pat, Yes, Gilbert, that's true. D, have to pay Medicare out it too. That's right. Medicare only covers, I think, 80% of healthcare costs. The other 20%, you have to have a supplemental plan. So with the $1,400 Social Security, you have to pay probably $200 of that. Maybe I'm guessing. I'm not sure. $200 of that towards a supplemental healthcare plan per month. So now you're left with $1,200 per month. What apartment are you going to rent? What type of food are you going to eat? If your check engine light comes on, what are you going to do? Gas, you think you're going to be traveling all over the country on $1,200? Not going to happen. And gas keeps going up as we speak. I mean, so, it's not easy, man. You wonder why. I mean, I feel bad, too, because, my heart goes out. When you're older, you don't have the physical capacity to advance in different career opportunities, to do more physical labor, to work harder, to do overtime. I mean, when you're older, your capacity in the workforce is less. And it's not easy. It's scary. So you shouldn't live in fear. But I understand the fear for people who are older, and as you get older, it's a true concern. And certainly a minimalistic life will help that, because the less bills you have, the better your mindset will be to deal with that. So the younger you can start, the better. But it's something real. That being said, I'm going to end it on that. It was a great live feed. Thank you for everyone commenting. You guys are what makes it magical. I'm very thankful. Thank you for all the new viewers, and thank you for all the regular viewers. I value you equally, and I'm appreciative. And thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, D. And just love and peace to you, man. That's all I can say. I hope you have a peaceful night. I hope you have a fun night. Love you too. Thank you, Mezzo. Linda, good night to you as well. Love, peace, and grace.